to talk about before I show you what I'm doing next. Okay, first, this should go without saying. Anytime you're cutting something that might be supporting the structure above you, make sure it's supported by something else. And if it's not, if this wasn't supported by something else, I would have run a quick support into it.
Yeah.
To make sure that it wasn't going to fall.
Right.
Okay? That's what you have to do. Don't just cut stuff like I just did. I know what, I've been looking at this for months, thinking about what I'm doing for months. Do that. Okay, so that's first off. Second off, I want to show you something that I kind of touched on but didn't really address. Okay, this was touching the ground. It's pressure treated. It was used when he put it there. There's no actual water damage.
No.
Okay? But the pieces he put on it and around it that were just regular wood,
Even though they weren't touching the ground.
even though they weren't touching the ground. Here's the thing about areas like where we live that are wet. Wet and then dry.
Yes.
If it's wet all the time, it doesn't really rot as fast, which is a weird thing. Wet and dry causes what's called dry rot. That's dry rot. Okay. So in these areas, anything that touches the ground or comes near the ground that isn't pressure treated or creosote treated or something like that, it's going to rot.
Right.
Anything that's above the ground has to be treated on a regular basis. Let me show you something that I had never seen until a few years ago, and it's part of climate change that we've had in this area. Now we have wood-eating fungus. Now, I have already treated that once, and I will treat it again.
The white stuff.
But,
yeah.
And so once I get this part covered so that water doesn't hit it again, because wood-eating fungus collects moisture from the wood. That's how it eats the wood. The problem with wood-eating fungus is once it gets started, it creates its own biosphere, and it collects moisture from the air to keep rotting the wood so it can keep feeding. It's a bitch to get rid of. But all you have to really do is get it in the dry and bleach the crap out of it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bunch of concrete into the hole. All right? And then, as you can see, I've got a great big stack of rocks here that were left over from the fire ring. Okay, so I'm just going to start taking like ones that I think will work good and using them. Okay, of course, you want to start, if you're doing what I'm doing right now, you want to put the biggest one on the bottom. So there's not a very good one. There's a really nice, great, huge rock. Now, the nice thing about this rock is it's actually going to cover my freaking hole up.
Yeah, most of it, yeah.
So it'll be supported in the middle on that concrete and on the edges on the dirt. So I want to get that kind of leveler, but I want to use that big rock because you know why, children? I can't lift that rock very high.
Right.
So it needs to go on something low.
Right.
And it's too good a rock not to use. So there's that. All right. So I'm going to take this great big one, and we're sticking it on the bottom, on top of our concrete. In fact, I'm going to put some more concrete.
I am coming.
Just hold that up for me for a minute. Okay, that's balanced, so she can do that. I'm actually going to put some more concrete in before I lay that down. Finally, its edge here and in the middle, because what's going to happen is when the pressure of the rock comes, it should push that out. Okay, so I'm going to walk this over, because again, this is here's a little trick. If you can get it up on its end and balance it, you can walk it into place without picking it up.
Not just rocks, but furniture and lots of stuff.
Oh, yeah, lots of stuff I do that way. All right. So now I'm going to rock it. Okay. So now it's nice and solid. And now I'm just going to start putting cement on, putting rocks on, get it up, make a platform.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
So, you want me to watch that, or do you want me to come back?
Well, you can on the next one, because I kind of want to show the next one, because it's going to be really cool.
Oh, okay. I will wait.
So the next rock. Okay, so I'm putting down my base. Oh, look how carefully I do that. Okay, see how I had those laying there? I had those laying like that for a reason. Because what I decided to do was put one that way.
Now, you have been thinking about this for months.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
And the other will go on the other side. And they're actually going to look like they're spreading. And in fact, they are, but I don't care.
Okay.
So there's that. But I probably should have put, oh, fuck. Okay, here we go. I did it backwards.
Okay.
It's okay. I can fix it now.
Okay.
I did that to show you
How easy it is to fix.
how easy it is to fix a mistake early in a project. Okay. I forgot that's why I had them stacked that way. You may have to knock that whole section out so people don't know how stupid I am.
That's not stupid. This is
People
actually a
will
good
stop-
lesson.
People will stop
No,
watching.
this is a good lesson. So you actually did, when you were doing this, you stacked them in that way
I stacked them
intentionally
in that way on purpose and then forgot.
and then forgot you had. Well, I don't.
I'm
What,
dyslexic. Give me a break.
what have you been doing, honey? Oh, I don't know. Running Mom back and forth to the eye center and yeah. So let's not even,
Yeah.
let's just show them how you fix
In
it.
the middle of a global pandemic.
Yes.
In the
Yay.
middle of a global pandemic that I have tried to avoid. I've had to run my mother to the freaking doctor and back and forth to the hospital for an entire year and a half. Now I blew
This
up
week, 3
again.
times.
This week, 3 times. Okay, so this is what I actually intended. That goes there.
And then the other one I see, it's like a puzzle. It
This
fits.
goes here.
Yes. Actually, looks like they were meant to go together.
They are. That's what I picked them for.
Yes.
Then promptly forgot.
No. That's awesome. I love that.
I did that for. I think I chose this white belly to show straight.
I wasn't on your white belly, I don't think.
Huh?
I'm showing the rocks,
Okay,
actually.
good. Leave my white belly out of this. Okay, I'm going to fill that crack in the middle just for strength.
Oh, okay, so you wouldn't have to,
No, I don't have to.
but
Not
it,
gonna show. That's the nice thing. Okay, what I'm doing right now, this stacked rock construction that I'm doing, if you do it right, you can't see the concrete. Because you're using big enough, you're using rocks and you're covering the concrete on the outside. You're putting the concrete in the middle and then covering it. So, okay.
Oh, now that is cool.
Okay. Now see how it's rocking?
Yeah. Oh, I know. You're going to put little pieces in there, right?
Yep. Probably not what you think I would do. That's the weird thing. They normally go in.
She has a bucket of little pieces over here.
I have an entire bucket of pieces for it.
5-gallon bucket of little pieces.
That I just keep when I'm doing rock work. So all I'm going to do is stick them under the edge into the concrete. So I just stick them into the concrete like that. You see, I just took that concrete that was showing and stuck it back up underneath the rock.
There you go.
And I just want to stick a bunch of rocks in there, like so. And now it doesn't
Now
rock.
it's stable. Yep.
I don't know how stable it is, but there you go.
It doesn't rock.
Yeah, doesn't rock. Unfortunately, I got cement on a part of my rock I didn't want to get cement on.
It will come off.
I blame you!
You should.
Oh, let's have a Trump moment.
Okay.
It's all Biden's fault that Afghanistan's getting overrun. Let's go back 3 months. I had this planned and now he's taking credit for it.
Yes. Yeah.
Nobody wants to see people stretched and abused and terrorized. But our being there hasn't actually helped. So I don't know what's right. And I'm not going to pretend. I only know that what we were doing wasn't working.
No.
And we really can't. You're talking about a different culture, and you're talking about religious hoo-has, not unlike our religious hoo-has. In fact, let's just be honest. The Taliban is exactly the same kind of people as the Q-Trumplicans. There's no difference.
Yes, several of them have actually come out praising the Taliban because they're against abortion and they don't think women should speak in public and several other gay rights and all that. So, yeah.
So
sad.
Could this happen in our country?
Yes.
January 6th.
Yes.
People. January 6th. But I'm not bitter by life.
No.
All right.
So we're going to come back in a minute?
Yeah, we'll come back in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and build this up. It'll be all kind of helter-skelter looking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's what I want to do. I want to build a really strong pier. I want it to look like it's barely hanging on.
Okay, we'll be back.